Okay, welcome to the final episode of the Women in Nebraska podcast. I'm Shauna Dorsey,
And
and
I'm Janae Lang.
like we're still figuring it out, even at this. So anyway, 10 minutes unedited conversation today. Janae and I are just wrapping it up. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
talk about what this experience has been like. Some of the women that we've met, and also why we decided to wrap this up. I think it's important for people to understand that you can start things and stop things and it's all good. So
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
yeah, you want to kick us off with
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Yeah, I think like looking back at the original purpose of Women in Nebraska was really to take some time to be able to highlight women doing amazing things here in our city.
Yes.
And and I think that we've done just that. Like, I'm so thankful for the amount of women who have raised their hand and said, like, yeah, I'm totally down to talk for 10 minutes about what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Even if I'm nervous, I'd love to be able to see how many people come in really excited and how many people come in also saying, I'm really kind of scared, but I am going to push through that because what I have to say matters.
Yeah,
And there are a lot of us like that here in Nebraska.
definitely. And then to have like two women, us who are very supportive of that and try to make it or make it accessible and fun and all of that stuff, I think is
Yeah.
so key too. So I love that. And then also many people that I had never met. So through this experience, you introduced me to so many people who I'd never met, like the founder of Pause Coffee, Sasha with Lit Omaha. So I didn't know that she started that group. And then, her whole work with the Project Intentional. I think, I'm
Yeah.
sorry if I'm getting that wrong. I'll update it in the notes.
You're
But
nailing it.
yeah, she's just amazing, amazing women.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think about, women like Ashley
Hmm.
and Candace who are doing amazing things in industries that are typically also male dominated,
Yep.
and just really, like, paving the way and, like, a no excuses mentality, and also
Yes.
a I don't have to do it the way that it's been done before, I can make it my own,
Yep.
and yeah, I love that.
It's been so fun. So when we were chatting, it's so funny, like, recently, within like the last couple of days, I was having conversations about this podcast and I'm like, it's so fun. But it's one of those things where it's like we have whole lives and careers and personal and all that stuff outside of this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I think we might need to revisit what our plan is going forward.
Yeah, which is so funny because then it was like, I also reached out to you and I was like, "Hey, I still wanna spend time with you. I still really care about the mission, and I'm not sure if this is the method anymore."
Right, right, right. It's so interesting because it's like we are friends anyway, so that's a thing. But I think part of that, which is so cool, is that neither of us felt like, okay, we just need to carry on with this thing we said we were going to do, and then get to a point where we're like, I don't know how people can feel about things, but
Yeah,
where they're like, oh, sorry, I can't make it today, like last minute sort of stuff where, and then you start to build up resentment and whatnot. It's
totally.
like, why not just say, hey, this doesn't fit right anymore?
Yeah,
And still keep the page open, Spotify, all that stuff can stay
yeah,
live and we'll just not be posting anymore.
absolutely.
But I just love that that's such a way to honor ourselves and each other by saying, hey, here's what I need.
I agree
Hmm.
completely, and I feel like that is something that's sometimes easier in theory than it
Yeah.
is in practice, and I'm thankful for the space to be able to continue to practice it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's so cool. So, lessons learned from this experience. Janae and I did not practice this before we decided to have this conversation. So, we're
No.
just rolling with
So,
it
like normal,
like normal.
uncut. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. I'll start with one and I'm working on it. Lessons learned. Um, I think that one of the things that I've gotten out of this for sure is that people love to be heard and have the opportunity to tell their stories. And they're not often asked, as you and I talked about before we even launched this. It was like, we keep hearing stories from the same people. And that's because they're easy to go to. They're very visible, they're doing a lot of things. But what about the people that are getting a lot of things done behind the scenes? Like, how can we bring them to the forefront? So I think that that's
Yeah.
been awesome to see.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I think for me, it would be this is more of like a personal one.
Yeah.
But having something to come like like making it simpler than
Yeah.
what it needed. Then my brain loves to complicate things.
Hmm.
Because I think I've told myself a story of like in order for it to be worthwhile, it has to be a little hard.
Yeah.
And what I've found is like, for example, utilizing the Webberized studio to be able to do the podcast so you can come in, record with amazing equipment, but not have to set it up yourself. And you have someone else who does it who's phenomenal and that's their zone of genius. So we can
Yes.
stay in ours.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't have to be a big lift. Like things don't have to be as hard. As sometimes my brain wants to make them,
Yeah.
and it can still be fun, and then if at some point it turns to a point where it's not quite as fun anymore,
Right.
you pivot, you adjust, and you move
Mhm.
on. Yeah.
I like that. Um, and on that to that point, I really like the unedited nature of this conversation and also the brevity, if that's the right word,
Yeah.
the shortness, the 10 minutes. But for sure, the unedited piece, because it allows for more authentic communication. And then for us to, again, speaking of skill sets, I'm not going to learn editing. I don't think that that was a plan of yours ever
No.
to take that on. So to be able to get the content and then just release as is was super helpful and awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think and just being able to see people connect in the ways that they have
yeah.
outside of even just, like, meeting each other off in, the area before and after podcast stuff,
Hmm.
or just seeing how people then connect, in the comment section
Yeah,
on YouTube or online. It's been awesome to start to see some of those different connections start to flourish.
definitely.
Mhm.
So, so this is our last session, but I think what would be cool and not to add things, but you know how I am.
Mhm.
I'm always like, here's an idea.
Yeah.
But maybe sometime in 2020, I'm going to go 25 at this point because, life.
Yeah.
But it would be really cool to bring back the guests for some sort of a mixer of some sort. So
You
we'll
know I'm
think
down
on
for a
that.
good mixer.
Yeah,
Yep.
me too.
Yep.
Those are fun, easy. Many women-owned businesses we can host at. Thinking Spirit World, one of my faves. But
Yeah.
yeah, something like that just to get folks together and hopefully spark more connections and collaboration, which we're all about here. But yeah, any final things that you think
Yeah, well, I wanna
or want to
know,
ask?
like,
Yeah.
what are you most looking forward to in 2024?
Hmm. So, personal and professional. I'll go personal first. So, I've been working on these 5Ks. So, if y'all don't know, I'm on this little journey. It just started accidentally when I was living in Florida, and I was like, I went away to be around people but not talk to anybody. 5Ks, excellent. So anyway, started that in late 2021, and then like really just decided like every year I'll add one more race. So last year I did 23 races over the course of 2023. I did 22 in over that 21, 22 period. So that's 45 races if my math works. And so I was like, if I just do 55 more races in 2 years, I can get to 104. And so this year I'm working toward 27 races by the end of, well, by like Thanksgiving. So I started this series Thanksgiving of 2023. But it's just really been fun to have something where I'm somehow getting better with age because I'm getting faster each year. And right now I'm just like 1 second faster on average than last year,
That's amazing.
but it's still, like, cool to see. And also, just so people know, I don't run outside of races. I actually don't even like running. I just like I like the experience of 5Ks.
You would.
And so, I just show up and I'm like, "We'll see how today goes."
And then you crush it. Haven't you
I do
gotten I'm gonna
decent.
make you brag on yourself, like, haven't you won, like, some awards for, like, best in your class? Like, are there didn't you get, like, some top certain number?
Yeah, like, top 2 or, like
Yeah,
yes. Mhm.
yeah. Like, so you're not just, like, only completing it, you're, like, crushing
It's because I
it.
get all competitive out there, but also in the winter, there aren't that many people racing, and also sometimes the course is a little bit dangerous. I'm gonna,
Yeah,
like, bring this down a little bit
yeah,
because that's my style, right? To be like,
sure, yeah.
"Let me just deflate this just a touch because
Alright.
I don't wanna like, feel like I'm bragging." But, the courses are a little bit harder because of the weather, and there aren't as many people. However, there are at least 3 or more people in my age group because if there were only, like, 3 and I won 3rd place, I can't even claim that.
Right, right, yep, perfect, yes.
But, yeah, I think that's the thing I'm most excited
Yeah,
about personally, and then professionally, just, like, having 2 jobs right now,
yeah,
continuing to, um, you know, deliver on the things we said we're going to do, which so far so good. Um, and hopefully growing the team a little bit more. We want to make sure that we have statewide representation in all that we do. And right now, it's me and my colleague Megan Bell going around the state. It's we're just doing it
Yeah,
ourselves, but with a lot of partnership. But anyway, those are the two things. How about you?
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think so professionally, I'm still working my full-time job and I'll be continuing that and taking on a different role and doing some new and exciting things there. But outside of that, like work-wise, I've always been doing some side hustles and I'm going to continue doing some coaching things on the side
love it.
and playing in like the online event space and some personal coaching. And then personal wise, we actually got engaged in December.
Wonderful.
And so we will be taking those next steps as a family, whether it's actually like expanding our family or we're going to
Mhm.
move into a new house. Like we're going to do some of that stuff. And I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm in a place where I feel like worthy of and ready for that journey and what all of the unknown of that will entail. And I feel like I've been preparing like 10 plus years for that.
Yep,
So
same.
yeah,
More to come. We'll
absolutely.
talk over, brunch or something sometime.
I love a good brunch. Absolutely.
But anyway, this has been so fun with you, and I look forward to the next thing that we decide to do together. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree completely. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
anything else that you want to say or any last word for the women in Nebraska?
If you like the concept of a podcast like this, start one. It's pretty easy. The Webberized team makes it so easy if you decide to use this studio, but
Yes.
it was really honestly not very difficult for us to put this together and also to find women who wanted to come and do it just by putting a call for speakers out, if you will, or interviewees. And
Yes.
yeah, so highly recommend if you want to do it.
Yeah, do it. Come do it.
Yep,
We are better together. We are stronger together.
absolutely.
Let's go get it.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank y'all.